Hello and welcome back to EDI Sports Show. We are going to discuss this week the big question. Here we go. What's your biggest frustration with the hobby? That's what I want to know. That's what you're going to answer. Put your answers down in the comments below. So this is the question. Does the hobby frustrate you? And before we get into that, I'm just going to say right now, we're not going to be doing viewer comments at the end. I have been sick all week. But when you make a commitment to do a show every week, you do the show whether you feel good or not. And so I'm going to power through and do this show. I have not been feeling well, but basically bear with me. We're going to get through everything we're going to do here. So there's a few things that I wanted to kind of bring up. And so here's the first one. So eBay scams. All right. So does that frustrate you? What about this? How about repack scams? And the last one, panini scams. I mean, I don't know where to begin, but guys, there's a lot of nonsense going on. So this is what I found on Reddit. Someone posted this. I don't know what the heck it is, but clearly we've got some problems on eBay. If you're not aware, so Burbank Sportscards left eBay a few months ago. They are selling on Fanatics Live. eBay has had many problems because basically what happens is if you sell your cards, so if you're a small-time dealer, let's say you're just a collector and you put up your cards on eBay and you try to sell them, the person gets them and then says that they never received them. It doesn't matter that they received them or not. They just claim to eBay that they never received them, and eBay automatically puts the payment on hold. Automatically. They do not care. And then they do a quasi investigation. And in most cases, the seller is out all the cards and the money. In most cases. That's the problem with eBay at this point. It's sort of a no-win situation. So you're paying for fees, you're paying for taxes, you're paying for shipping, you're paying for the hassle of using eBay, and then eBay doesn't back you up when you actually make a sale. And given the fact that the post office doesn't work anymore, I mean, you're in real trouble. This is no longer the way to sell your cards. So I'm at a loss. I mean, I'll put it this way. I'm at a loss. We have all this technology, and yet none of the technology actually works. So I think you just got to go old school. I think you just got to sell at a card show and just deal with it that way. Now, I got somebody who reached out to me on IG. If you're not on my IG, go over here. You can follow me. If you want the free PDF, go to that pin post. Okay, so that's the orange and black pin post. Teach me sales skills. Read it. Like the post, and then put in the comments on that post 5 pillars, and I will DM you the free PDF. Anyway, somebody reached out to me on IG, and they asked about the 20 Barry Bonds rookie cards. So these are from the Topps Traded 1986 Topps Traded. Let me go to this camera. So this is from the 1986 Topps Traded. So there's 20 of them here. All right. And we might have made a deal. I'm not sure. We might have made a deal. So anyway, they're worth around $10 each. That's what they're worth. And so we were negotiating on a price. So for all of you out there, if cards are worth $10 each, there's 20 of them here. Okay, how much would you spend for that lot? And that's what you guys need to start kind of questioning, is if it's worth $10 each. So I know that you could sell them for $10 each. I mean, if you got them graded, you might be able to sell them for more, but that's not my problem. My problem is, what are they worth right now in ungraded fashion? So they're worth $10 each. Therefore, a $20 lot or a 20 card lot is $200 in value. And so when you make an offer, you should be making offers off of that $200 value. and this person made me a decent offer. We're still in negotiation because I don't want to pay for shipping. So that's the issue. It's sort of like, okay, we came up with a price, but now because I've been sick all week, I haven't been able to go to post office. So I have all of my, I have my bubble wrap. That's going to go in there. I have my envelope. So that's going to go there. I just need to go to the post office and find out how much shipping is. And then he's going to pay for the rest of the shipping. That's kind of how you do it. And I think hopefully I'm hoping with social media that you can kind of do this with trust. I'm trusting people, and that's, you have to trust people at some point. You just have to do it. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to make that transaction work, and then I'll send those and ship those out. And if he gets them, again, in the mail, I'm hoping they don't get lost. See, this is the thing that I'm worried about, is the mail system doesn't really work. So, all right. Anyway, let's get back to the first piece. So eBay scams. So that's the thing that I want everybody to be aware of, is there are scams going on eBay. I see all the time cards being listed incorrectly. I see cards being, like, anytime you see any junk wax error cards, okay? So if you see any junk wax error cards, just be aware that's called manufacturing problems. That's not an error. There was a print run issue. They had very low quality control back during the junk wax era. Okay, so from 85 through basically 93, completely they could care less how the cards came out of packs. There's miscuts, there's print runs, there's off-colored stuff. Like, it's crazy. It's bad. All right. So anyway, so if you see any of that on eBay, just know it's a scam. Do not buy any error cards on eBay. There are no errors. You can look online for what the official error cards are, and that's the way to go. I mean, that's my best suggestion to you. All right, let's get to repack scans. So, I don't know. So this one was a Walmart repack. So if you go to Walmart, they will actually have old Topps packs. They'll put them all together into a box, and it's called the retail, I guess, box. I'm not quite sure. And it's just a whole bunch of packs. If you open it up, you're going to get absolutely nothing in there. I mean, just so you're aware, you're getting absolutely nothing. So you really shouldn't be spending any money on it, because they're not even worth $1 a card. They're worth about 5 cents a card. So if you pay, so just add up all the number of cards. If there's 50 cards in the pack, then you should be paying about about $2.50. You're not. You're paying closer to $5 or $6 for these repacks, which is why, Walmart does them, because they make a fortune on these cards, because Topps doesn't need them. They just want to get rid of them. It's all garbage at this point. So anyway, these are all scams. So just be aware of that. And then the last one, this is the Panini scam. So this is a redemption. And Panini's been doing this for many, many years, this whole scam that they have going on. And honestly, they only have, a year left, and then they're probably irrelevant at this point in the hobby. But this is a redemption. The person pulled supposed to be a redemption of 1 of 10 card, and they got a base card. That's it. It's still auto, absolutely, but it's not a numbered auto card. It's a base auto card. It is what it is, and I understand that fans are upset, but folks, you have to stop trusting these companies. Fanatics is not your friend. Fanatics is a conglomerate that wants to rape you of your money. I'm sorry for using that word on YouTube, but seriously, they want to steal your money. They do not care about you. They do not care about the hobby. They do not care about anything other than making as much money off of you as possible. And they want to make you feel like you are not in control, but you are. If you're a subscriber to this channel, you are in full control of yourself and the hobby. You do not need to buy this junk. Seriously, if you want to buy cards, just go buy individual single cards. Do not buy packs. Do not buy wax. Do not buy boxes. Do not buy blasters. Do not buy any of this garbage. Do not even buy breaks at this point. It's a complete waste of your money. was speaking to somebody on Reddit. So just to kind of give you guys, so I do a lot of talking with people on Reddit. There's a bunch of subreddits that are really, really good. So anyway, I was talking to this guy. He's got, I don't know, a few thousand cards. He did a ton of breaks. He estimated that he spent about $15K on breaks. Yeah, $15,000 on breaks over the last several years. That's a lot of money, folks. A lot of money for cards. Anyway, he wanted to sell his cards in a bulk deal. Now, what have I said about bulk deals? You're not going to get the most amount of value if you sell in a bulk deal. And he showed what, again, I don't even think he really organized his cards, because he showed a whole bunch of cards that I guess he thought were valuable. And he asked me, so I asked him, I said, how much do you think that your collection is worth? And he's like, I think it's worth between 13 and 15. So he admits that he's lost money on the deal. So he spent 15 on the breaks. He admits that he's lost some money. Problem is, I don't think he understands how much money he's lost, because when I looked at the cards, there were a few, again, there were a lot of autos, some relics, some numbered, some, refractors, not a lot of real high-end stuff. He had a couple cards, maybe like a handful, 5 or 6, that might have been worth about $100 each. But that was it. Everything else was like a $10, maybe $20 card. So yeah, I guess like in his aggregate of, I have a few thousand cards and they're worth 10 to 20 each, the value is, I guess he got to 13,000. I still don't know how he got there. He just didn't have that many cards. I would say in aggregate, it was probably worth about 9,000, which means if you're doing a bulk deal, you're not getting more than 5. So he spent 15, he's lost $10,000. So I said to him in truth, I said, I don't think you really want to sell this in a bulk deal. I think you're going to lose a ton of money. I suggested, why don't you pull out the top 100 cards and you list those on eBay, or however you want to sell them, you list them. Get the most amount of money for those 100 cards and then sell the rest in bulk. So at least you're getting the most amount back, because you're going to lose no matter what you do. So it's really minimizing your losses at this point. And he was like, okay, yeah, that actually sounds like a better idea. Now he might come on the channel. I'm hoping he might come on the channel and actually show the cards, the top 100. He's going to do the comps and do all that. So I'm hoping that happens, so you guys can kind of see you walking through this path of selling off your stuff. Because that's the problem, is that you've collected a hoard. It's not worth what you thought it was worth. You spent way too much money, and now what do you do? All right, so that's kind of the issue, is, kind of doing all those things. So like I said, this is the question that I want you to answer, which is, what's the biggest frustration with the hobby for you? Put it in the comments below, and we're gonna get there. So, all right, last thing. So this is what I want you guys to do. Remember, go to the Instagram. I'm gonna show you my Greg Jeffries collection. I know you're probably gonna be like, Greg Jeffries, who? Why would we want to see your Greg Jeffries collection? All right. Anyway, I'm gonna show it to you real quick, because I just figured, share some stuff with you guys. So back in the day, I was a huge Greg Jeffries fan, and I actually got to meet him and sit down with him, and he autographed a whole bunch of stuff. I was a amateur photographer when I was a teenager, so I used to go to Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium and take photos, and I took a whole bunch of photos of Greg at bat, actually at his first game, which was at night. And I went and met him, and he asked me to send one of those photos to his mother, which I did. And again, that was a really cool thing for me. So this is Star, Greg Jeffries. This is from 1988. Again, I was a huge Star card fan. I really love Star cards. So this one is also a Star, Greg Jeffries, okay? And then we're going to do just the regular stuff. So here we go. So we've got Fleer. This is Leaf rookie. This is the regular Donruss rookie. Now, this was the most iconic card at the time. This was the hottest card. Now, we've got the Topps, which didn't come out until a year later. Got more Topps. Here we go. We got 91. And then here I've got some autos. So again, he signed these for me. I sat next to him and he signed these. That's 1 Greg. That's 2 Greg. This is 3 Greg. Now we got some more minor league. That's from Tidewater. And here's another Tidewater. All right, so that is the Greg Jeffries collection. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sending in those autographs to a PSA to get them authenticated. Now, obviously, I know they're real, but that's not the point. You don't know they're real. But so that's why I'm going to send them in a PSA, get them in an authentic slab, which means that, you know, they are good. Actually, what I've been thinking about, and let me know. Sorry, I am not feeling well. Let me know in the comments if you think that CGC with JSA is a good authentication outlet, because I would rather go to them than PSA. Honestly, I hate PSA with a passion. I mean, they could care less about me. I am so tiny on YouTube, and they don't care about anybody, including the influencers. They don't care. These people are billionaires, and they treat all of us like dirt. So I don't like PSA's policies, which is why I don't want to send my cards there. I don't agree with their policies. I think their policies are bad. And that's the point. I think that they're making a ton of money off of all of us for no reason other than we just keep sending cards to them. So I really would like to use CGC with JSA authentication, because JSA, they are, so PSA and JSA are the two experts worldwide on authenticating autographs. Hands down, they are the experts. So if JSA can authenticate my cards and then get them into a slab, again, I don't care that it's a CGC slab. What do I care? But the problem is all of you care. I don't know why. You're very biased towards PSA, and that's the issue. We have this thing in the hobby, which is that you're biased towards PSA. This frustrates me. Why are we so biased towards PSA when PSA treats us so horribly? Horribly. Sorry. I sent in cards to SGC again. They came back literally within 2 weeks. Now, it did take a little bit longer than normal, but that's not because of them. It's because of the mail. So it did take an extra 4 days to get my cards back, but 4 days. If I send my cards to SGC, to PSA, I will not get them back for 6 months because PSA literally doesn't care. Now, remember, they have expanded their business. Apparently, they hired a whole bunch of people, and yet they still cannot grade cards in any timely fashion whatsoever. And they charge you an arm and a leg. Now, I know they're doing this on purpose. They do bulk. They basically, what I think they do is if you order bulk service from them, they literally put it in a cabinet and hold on to it for a month just to make you suffer so that you have to pay the higher fees to get faster service. That's how they do things. They have no backlog. I'm telling you right now, there is no backlog at PSA. It is all a lie. I don't believe anything PSA says, and you should not believe anything that PSA says. They are liars. Liars. If you went to their warehouse, you would see they have no cards. They only grade the cards that get the higher service, and then they do a few of the bulk cards. They work through them very slowly on purpose because they want you to feel like if you want your cards back, you better pay up. That's what their business model is. It's screw the customer at every single turn. That's what they do. So I don't know why you guys keep sending cards to PSA. Please, just think about it. Just like if you're going to send a card out, just kind of second guess yourself. Be like, should I send this to PSA? I mean, do I really want to do it? Because I know you're like, well, I'll get the most amount of money. No, you won't. If you don't get the cards back for 6 months, you're not getting anything. You need the cards back. You don't need the cards sitting at PSA. You need the cards in your hand. So if you send them to PSA, you're not getting them back. So you're not making any money. Just be aware of that. Like, you have to have some thought process to this. If you send them to PSA, you're not getting them back. Therefore, you cannot sell them. So be very, very careful. That's why they do the higher level service, where they will literally upcharge you. I think it's like $200 now for one card, basically to get it back in a week. That's nuts. That means the only cards you're going to send to them under that service has to be high-end cards. Because why would you pay $200 for a $200 card? PSA just does not care about the hobby, and you guys are eating it up, and this frustrates me. So that's the question for this week. Again, what's your biggest frustration with the hobby? That's going to be our show, because honestly, I'm going to bed. I want to thank everybody for joining me. This is Doc saying, have a great week.